Great. So now that I'm recovering from a beautiful bout of nostalgia, reminding me how wonderful this city is, I'll speak to you about several interlinked issues to do with the feminine or female experience within the ABSOC, which is the Ahlul Bayt Islamic Societies in universities, which is the Shia Muslim student societies on campus, and the challenges that some of these females face and their perceptions of religious authority. Now I'm placing this whole thing within that gendered space in academia. Sabah Mahmood's written about it. We already heard something about gender in space already, but I'm talking not about Egyptian mosque as Sabah Mahmood might have written about, but about the campus setting and the ABSOCs especially. Now within that discussion, we're looking at these female based in England university students and how they perceive the religious authority, Orthodox Shia religious authority, which is all male and based largely in the Middle East, in Iran and Iraq mainly. How they interact with them, how they perceive them, and how they practice authority. Now looking at the ABSOCs, the female presence in the ABSOCs is, as you can see, on equal par with the male. 50% of my fieldwork, the ABSOCs that I looked at in the campuses, 50% had female presidents. And as you can see, Ahmed, who is not his real name, but we'll revisit him later, he's very proud that the campus he was talking about, everyone was female. This presence of them, the females, allows them to give themselves a gender-exclusive social space within those ABSOCs. So they can hold these social issues, and the males can hold also, although they have also mixed events, but they can have that individual space whereby the females can also have swimming lessons, etc. That brings me on to the idea of gender segregation, which has been spoken about in the campus context. ABSOCs have no formal policy with regards to segregation or not, but you can see in the top right picture, they're self-segregating, self-regulating segregation, or not, as we can see at the bottom. The quote there was about WhatsApp groups also being segregated. The issue of challenges. Are there any challenges for males as there are for females? This is largely the response I got from males, that we don't have any challenges really on campus as a result of being Muslim. However, challenges, I'm talking about the females that had challenges, were quite stark. One major thing was about cross-gender interaction and the hijab in that respect. Here is a medical student talking about how she has to really, what's the solution for this? What's the solution for her having to touch males or whatever? She didn't ask for any guidance from any religious authority. As you can see, she says, I don't quite know what to do, how to navigate myself, and I have no choice, and that's the career I've chosen. So it's elucidated the idea that she is not really asking for jurisprudential guidance from any Orthodox Shia authorities, be they in the UK or transnationally based. The other issue which came up when I was studying here and researching in Cardiff as well, was the idea of handshaking. Again, we can see here it is a big thing for the females, but not raised by the males. So when I came to ask about the males, then no one raised this issue, but the females were constantly raising this issue about interaction. Actually, one of the males even responded by saying, forget handshaking, what about hugging? Some females come and hug you. I said, what do you do in that situation? He said, well, if it's gone too far, you just do it. So I'm not generalizing that's what all Muslim males do, but it obviously wasn't a big enough issue for the males as it was for the females. The second issue is about the hijab and the worn hijab, the headscarf. There are discussions taking place within the ABSOCs about this, and modesty. So is modesty and hijab challenged by the campus context? Is the campus a secularizing space, an anti-Islamic religion in that respect? Certainly the ABSOC, as we see, provided a space for females, but as for those who might want to dress differently, we can see here one of the ABSOC males in the focus group saying about his own sister, she thinks that the ABSOC space restricts her in terms of what she can wear, etc. So you can see even her views might also not come to the table if she doesn't find that space, one which allows her to act as she wants. Hijab in terms of clinical practice. We can see once again that those who are in medical practice or in hygiene need to roll their sleeves halfway up. Obviously that would not be allowed in Shia Orthodox jurisprudence. But what is the solution? None of them are reverting to jurisprudential guidance. They're taking the agency to decide what to do upon themselves. That this is what I think I should do, I have no choice, so I think it's fine, etc. And that kind of agency is being taken upon themselves, as opposed to referring to any jurisprudential authorities in this respect. And this agency of taking it on themselves has been reasserted here, as this individual says, this participant says. As long as you're kind of practicing your idea of hijab, it's up to you, then you do what you want. So you can see these transnational Shia authorities, jurisprudential authorities, are not being referred to or consulted, and their rulings are not being consulted. Another one is saying, again, a medic, this was, a medical student, then if this is what I have to do, then again she says, I adapt to that. Once again, we can see no jurisprudential authorities in the Middle East, which is Shia also practice, is being consulted. The perception of authorities. We had one discussion group whereby authority itself in Shia Islam was being discussed, and this interviewee, who was the facilitator, said the girls were opposed to the idea of the encompassing authority being males. It shows that the males in that discussion circle did not object to that. And that girl herself, one of the girls who I was interviewing there, the female, said that you can see there was a gender disparity within the views there. The females were opposed to this kind of authority, while the males didn't have an issue with it, or so you can see she says there was a split between the room. And on the last slide, you can see that the female that I was interviewing here, which could be generalized, were not feeling represented. We're not feeling represented by those authorities in the Middle East who are all male and separated from them geographically also. Thank you.